Welcome to the hottest movie review on the internet today, the A-List Review. I'm your host, the Game Changer, Wes Troop. And this week I've got 4 big reviews for you. 3 spanking new releases that hit theaters this week, including The Hunger Games, Mockingjay, Part 2. Of course, starring Jennifer Lawrence, the final Hunger Games film, as well as the new Christmas comedy starring Seth Rogen, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Anthony Mackie, The Night Before, a new drama starring Julia Roberts, Mother Mary, Chiwetel Ejiofor, as well as Nicole Kidman in Secret in Their Eyes. Do you see a secret in there? Anyway, and also, being this is the last A-list before Thanksgiving, I assume, I don't think I'm going to see all the Thanksgiving movies before Thanksgiving, for next week. I'm going to do my random review this week. It's going to be not so random. The Not So Random review, and it's going to be one of the best Thanksgiving movies out there to watch. So, let's kick this shiznit off. Let's do this show with possibly one of the most anticipated films of the year by teenage girls. This is my review of The Hunger Games, Mockingjay, Part 2. Katniss and the Rebellion say enough is enough and it's time for a change. Okay, maybe that was Owen Hart. But anyway, they want to end the current political reign of the tyrannical President Snow once and for all. Katniss joins her friends and colleagues on one final mission to overthrow the leader. Along the way, they learn everything may not be as it seems. So what did I think of The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2? I thought it's a mostly satisfying ending to the Hunger Games series. I saw the first part a year ago, obviously, and could barely remember any of it. I truly feel both of these films could have been edited down and combined, but you know, money talks. Like that Chris Tucker movie. The beginning of the film moves at a very slow pace, where a lot of scenes feel stretched out. It's mostly a bunch of setup, making plans, and a ton of those wonderful YA buzzwords thrown at us. YA meaning young adult, in all their novels and stuff. About 45 minutes in, things finally pick up, and things actually get exciting. Between hiding and running in the sewers from creatures, and outrunning a black goo in a city, there's some interesting stuff going on here. While some things could have been left out, certain aspects needed a bit more explaining instead of just being thrown at the audience at random. At one point I thought I either fell asleep or 20 minutes of the movie was missing. Thankfully it made sense a few minutes later. As the film goes on, I like that we begin to question if certain characters may be corrupt and learn who not to trust. The last few scenes range from cool to heartbreaking and gives us a definitive end to the story. Jennifer Lawrence does great work here, reprising her role as Katniss Everdeen, the symbol of hope, or the Mockingjay, who leads the rebellion to kill her arch-nemesis. I mean, really, in this type of movie, Jennifer Lawrence could have phoned it in, but she really doesn't. Also in the cast, Josh Hutcherson as Peeta, Katniss's on-and-off love interest, who is working through being brainwashed by the evil president and isn't sure if he can be trusted himself. Liam Hemsworth as Gale, Katniss's friend and other half of the love triangle, vying for her attention. Donald Sutherland does some praiseworthy and even creepy work as President Snow, the leader almost everyone in Panem is looking to take down. Julianne Moore as Alma Coyne, the president of the rebellion, giving Katniss the orders, as well as Woody Harrelson, Elizabeth Banks, Natalie Dormer, Stanley Tucci, and the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman in his final role as Plutarch Havensby, the ultimate game maker. While my favorite film in the series is still the first, The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 is a gratifying send-off for the successful franchise. I'm going to give it the rating of... Do it. And now a film that a lot of guys are going to like. Some guys are going to like The Hunger Games too. I enjoyed some of that series. Mostly the first two parts, but I enjoyed it was watchable. But anyway, and some girls are going to like this next movie too, definitely. This is a movie to go see with your bros or your hoes, right? Let's get into the Christmas spirit. Here is my review of The Night Before. Three friends have gone out and partied every Christmas Eve since the tragic passing of the parents of one of the guys. Because of different reasons like starting a family or becoming a famous football player, this is going to be the final year of their tradition. For over 10 years, they've been trying to find a secret party known as the Nutcracker Ball. One of the gang finds tickets to the epic event, and the three guys prepare to have the bash of their lives. But of course, not all goes to plan. So what did I think of The Night Before? I thought it's an amusing Christmas comedy. I was wondering how a stoner comedy and a Christmas film would be when blended together, but I thought it was pulled off nicely. I, for one, never expected to see dick pics in a holiday film, but I suppose there's a first time for everything, and at least the joke worked. There are those laugh-out-loud moments you'd expect, some of the funniest I've seen this year, such as the stoned Jewish guy in a Christian church, crazy limo driver, karaoke, and many other antics. There's also some surprisingly sweet and emotional moments between the guys and their families and relationships. The cast stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Ethan, a 33-year-old who lost his parents quite a few years back and doesn't really have his life together as much as his friends had hoped. Seth Rogen as Isaac, the soon-to-be father, who's given a box of drugs from his wife to have one last great time. Anthony Mackie as Chris Roberts, their friend who turned into a famous football star later in his career and is always posting on social media. Jillian Bell as Betsy, Isaac's wife, a little worried about the baby coming. Lizzie Kaplan as Diana, Ethan's ex he still has feelings for. Mindy Kaling as Sarah, Diana and Betsy's friend who has a cell phone mix-up. And Michael Shannon as Mr. Green, a drug dealer who might be holding a few secrets. Also look out for some very funny cameos as well. The Night Before mixes naughty and nice with a few surprises along the way and is one of the funniest holidays movies out there. I'm going to give it the rating of... Do it. Alright, and that brings us to the last movie to come out this week. It is, hopefully if they make a sequel, it won't be called The Secret in Their Nose. This is the drama Secret in Their Eyes. FBI agent Jess is heartbroken when she finds her daughter deceased in a trash dumpster. She and her friend Ray, also an agent, try to find the person responsible to put them behind bars. Ray ends up finding the culprit but is unable to make his arrest stick as he's released because he's an informant for the government. After 13 years of searching, Ray believes he finally has found the perpetrator again and is obsessed to find him and make him pay. He comes back into town and runs the idea by his old crush, who's now the DA, and also Jess to find the culprit once and for all. So what did I think of Secret in Their Eyes? I thought it's a moderate crime drama. When I saw the trailer for this film, I was pretty excited. While viewing, however, I realized the preview made it look like a better film than it actually is. The story jumps back and forth from the year 2002, when the crime was committed, to present day, where the trio are working on finding the killer again. While it works in some scenarios, I found the bouncing to become too distracting in this case, as it's done too often. The good parts of the film are done well and keeps things entertaining enough, but there are quite a few scenes that drag and even make the movie a bit dull at times. Thankfully, there are a few pursuits which help pick the excitement level back up. I've liked the overall plot of finding the suspect, but I felt there's too much focus on a relationship that could have been between two of the characters that brings us out of the film too often. There are a few twists right up to the end of the film, with one that did surprise me, but I'm not sure if I really enjoyed the outcome. The cast do give great performances and stars Chiwetel Ejiofor as Ray Caston, the FBI agent hell-bent on bringing the killer down. Nicole Kidman as Claire Sloan, the engaged DA worker who Ray develops a special friendship with. Julia Roberts as Jess Cobb, the single mom and agent who lost her daughter and is looking for vengeance. Dean Norris as Bumpy Willis, another agent at the Bureau who helps Ray hunt down the suspect, and Joe Cole as Marzin, the creepy and loathsome man they think killed Jess's daughter. Secret in Their Eyes certainly has its moments. I just wish a few more of them would have been as compelling as what's actually good. I'm going to give it the rating of meh. It's okay.
Alright, and finally, the not-so-random review this week is a 80s comedy that is considered the best Thanksgiving movie to watch on many websites. You can Google it. I promise you it's on there. To watch around Thanksgiving. And that is the comedy classic starring Steve Martin and John Candy, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Honk, honk. A businessman is traveling home to Chicago to spend Thanksgiving with his family. After another man steals his cab, things start to go downhill. When his flight is delayed, he runs into the cab stealer in the airport and the two have a friendly conversation. They end up sitting next to each other on the plane as well. When they have to land in Wichita because of the weather, the two end up agreeing to sharing a hotel room as well. From there, the antics ensue, as we love to say on the show. So what did I think of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? I thought it's a very witty comedy. There are very many zany and funny scenes that occur from the situations these two strangers keep getting put into. The two characters also have some of the worst luck in the history of transportation. Through all of the trouble and turmoil, the two actually begin to develop a bond which turns into a friendship. The hijinks end up bringing them closer together, and there are a few sweet and emotional surprises along the way. 80s favorite John Hughes also wrote and directed the film, and as usual, doesn't disappoint. Steve Martin stars as Neil Page, the easily annoyed businessman who is trying to travel home and keeps getting hit with bad luck, and John Candy as Del Griffith, the friendly, messy shower curtain traveling salesman. The setup is quite simple, but it's the chemistry between the two that truly make the characters so much fun to watch. Also in the cast in smaller roles are Lila Roberts as Susan, Neil's wife hoping he can make it home as soon as possible, Michael McKean as a state trooper, and Kevin Bacon as a man trying to race Neil for his taxi in one of the opening scenes. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is an exceptional comedy and is always considered to be one of the best films ever to watch around Thanksgiving. I'm going to give it the rating of A-list approved. That's right, if you've never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, it's streaming on Netflix now, or you can find it various other places. I have it on DVD. Give it a watch this Thanksgiving if you've never seen it. Alright, well, that's the show for this week. I'll be back next week with my reviews. It's going to be whatever comes out this week for Thanksgiving. And I know all three are actually coming out at this theater for once. We got The Good Dinosaur, the newest Pixar Disney movie. And you know I'm going to be bringing my tissues to that one. as well as Creed, put 'em up, and Victor Frankenstein. We'll find out how alive that movie is, as well as whatever else I review next week. So, make sure you come back, and until then, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. youtube.com/westside515. You can like the Facebook page, facebook.com/westtroupealist. Follow me on the Twitter @WesAList, and the Instagram is @WesAList as well. And, of course, you can buy the books. 2012, 2013, 2014 movie review books. Only $10 each. Christmas is coming, peeps. Stuff those stockings. And if you're, anywhere between a 6 and a 10, I'll stuff your stocking. Ladies, please. Anyway, and 2015 is coming soon, so be prepared. It's coming. Anyway, alright, got my scarness out. Until next time, Troop out.